Today, U.S. prosecutors seek a 3-year prison sentence for Changpeng Zhao. Block plans to launch a full Bitcoin mining system. And the founder of Canonical Crypto explains why he's bullish on the merging of AI and blockchain technology. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto prices turning lower this morning, with Bitcoin dropping back to the $64,000 level by noon Eastern. That cryptocurrency was down 2.8% in the past 24 hours. Meanwhile, Ether dipped more than 1.5% to $31.73, and Solana dropped 4% to $151. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. U.S. prosecutors are seeking a 3-year prison sentence for Binance's former CEO, Changpeng Zhao. In a memorandum filed in Washington federal court, prosecutors said that CZ should serve a sentence higher than suggested under guidelines due to the gravity of his crimes. Zhao is accused of willfully failing to implement an effective anti-money laundering program, something that's required by the Bank Secrecy Act. He's also accused of allowing Binance to process transactions tied to unlawful activity, including for individuals skirting sanctions. Next, Jack Dorsey's payments company, Block, is developing a full Bitcoin mining system. The company announced yesterday that it finished the development of a standalone 3-nanometer Bitcoin mining chip and is now working with a semiconductor manufacturer on finalizing the design. Block says the chip will meet mining needs to thrive through the current halving cycle. The company's ultimate goal is to democratize Bitcoin mining, which Dorsey tweeted about in 2021. At the time, he argued that the more decentralized mining is, the more resilient the Bitcoin network becomes. At the same time, block platforms Square and Cash App are also reportedly launching the option for merchants to convert their dollars to Bitcoin. All right, for our main story, while crypto and AI have competed for VC funding dollars, many believe the combination of the two technologies presents huge promise. And after the latest Bitcoin halving, some blockchain miners are even considering a pivot to AI using some of their existing infrastructure. Crypto World's Talia Kaplan spoke with Anand Iyer, the founder of Canonical Crypto, an early-stage fund investing in crypto and Web3 infrastructure, about the potential tied to the two technologies. Plus, he shares his outlook for VC funding in the space.
The combination of crypto and AI has been getting a lot of buzz recently. According to Van Eck, crypto AI revenues are projected to reach $10.2 billion by 2030. Do you agree with that projection?
Such a great question to kick it off. I think, and I was talking to the team at Van Eck about this, I think that's on the low end of where we might end up. If I remember correctly from that report, they were projecting something like $6 trillion in AI-driven productivity over by 2030. And if decentralized AI serves as the backbone for everything that needs to get built on top with AI, I believe those numbers are the very low end of the spectrum in terms of what we might expect. But we're starting to see some really cool tech and infrastructure getting built. So we're expecting to see that, we'll expect to see that play out really well.
Interesting. So last month, OKX Ventures released a report about the potential of crypto and AI. And the report says the merging of the two technologies is giving rise to new applications and innovations encompassing areas like model training, AI agents, metaverse, gaming, and robots as a service. In a nutshell, what is your outlook for crypto and AI? And do you see a lot of potential tied to the merging of the technologies?
Absolutely. If you look at the progression of AI to date, it's been largely driven by centralized entities, right? So the amount of innovation and horsepower, whether it's access to data, access to talent, or access to resources, has been largely controlled by a select few. On the other hand, when we look at decentralized blockchain-based networks, we really thrive on certain ethos and principles like decentralization, transparency, auditability, et cetera. So as we look forward, while we're starting to build out the infrastructure in a very collaborative manner today, there's just so much that needs to get built. If you look at some just like pointed use cases today, right? Data provenance. Talia, you and I are having this conversation. At some point, this data might get used to train a model. How does CNBC, how do we get credit for something like that? Or we look at training of models for medical purposes, for legal purposes, or for finance. Those can't be trained on public data. They need to be trained on private data. And we have primitives for things like this in the world of blockchain, like fully homomorphic encryption, We have zero knowledge for attestation of proofs, etc. So I'll pause there, but I'm really bullish on where we can take all the work that's been done in the world of blockchain primitives and really putting that to work when it comes to AI.
So, I recently interviewed the chief scientist at Chainlink Labs, who argued that the often touted uses for bringing AI and blockchain together aren't actually all that useful. Some of what he calls misleading narratives include that blockchain can combat misinformation caused by generative AI and that blockchain can bring privacy to AI. Do you think these narratives can be considered misleading? Are there any concerns you have tied to the convergence of AI and crypto?
Yeah, I look at it as a glass half full opportunity, right? I think with the sort of the blast radius of what we're encountering today, it doesn't feel particularly good. Whereas the kind of primitives we have in the world of blockchain actually can serve legitimate use cases, right? We have seen situations where there have been elections held in various countries, and we have been able to use certain primitives like zero knowledge to be able to attest to the source of certain media types and ensuring that those actually came from the sources that they truly actually came from. How do we put these to work at scale, right? So I would say the technology is there, and it is really up to us to put these to work now and bring them to the masses. So while it's completely fair to be questioning these principles, I think what is incumbent upon us now is to build out these products and put them to work, because we've been building them out for quite some time now. So I definitely appreciate the skepticism, but I'm confident that the technology is going to play out as we hope it will.
Now, you are a Lightspeed venture partner and, of course, the founder of Canonical Crypto, an early stage fund investing in crypto and Web3 infrastructure. So I'm curious to get your take on what crypto VC trends have been gaining traction and how much of the VC interest is focused on the convergence of AI and blockchain technology.
Yeah, I have been exclusively focused on this intersection because I feel this technology is AI is one of those technologies that we're going to be telling you and I in 2 years for having this conversation, we're still going to be talking about this, and I think it's far too promising and important for there not to be focus on it. So that's been my area of focus, but there's just so much more that needs to get built. Obviously, with the kind of tailwinds that are happening with ETFs, with Solana hitting certain high thresholds lately, with various upgrades happening in the world of Ethereum, there's a lot of infrastructure that's getting built in and around this. But we're also starting to see certain consumer trends pick up. Farcaster, for example, which is a Web3 native social networking platform, is having a moment. They're having record usage on their platform. Proud to have been an investor from the earliest days there. But we're starting to see shoots like this emerge, whether it's social, whether it's gaming, or true manifestations of finance coming to life. We're starting to see some companies, now that scalability, we feel like we've hit that point where we can reliably use blockchain networks for payments. We're starting to see TradFi and blockchain-based finance come together. So these are some interesting areas we're starting to see developments and investments go into: infrastructure, middleware, developer tooling, and at the very top of the stack, finance, gaming, social. We're starting to see investments flow there as well.
So, are you noticing there's more interest in crypto now that Bitcoin hit a new all time high above $73,000 in recent weeks and spot Bitcoin ETFs started trading here in the US? Have you seen a shift in sentiment from investors?
That has definitely provided for awesome tailwinds for activity from an investment perspective coming back in, which is also closely tied to developer activity, founders getting back into the fray and wanting to build here as well. So absolutely, that's been a huge proponent for us. On the flip side, I was reflecting on this. In my career, usually we try to make bets that are several years out. And the pros and cons of operating in crypto are that sometimes we anchor a lot on price. And, when this tends to happen, there's like ebbs and flows that happen with price, and that's related to our investment trends as well. But over a long enough time horizon, right? Again, we're having this conversation 5, 10 years out. These small episodic moments will feel like such small blips relative to how much the price will have appreciated, and how grateful I think we'll all be that we were able to do some incredible things on these, what feel like nascent platforms today. So it is. while a lot of it is predicated on price today over a long enough time frame, as more developers and more founders come in, we're going to see some really cool tech being built, which is really going to work for us in the future.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today. We'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll see you then.